gosh, hello. All right, down, come on. Good girl. Gentlemen, welcome to the video. Today I want to walk you through every single piece of gear I carry on my standard deer hunt. Whether I'm hunting from the ground, from a ground blind, tree stand, ladder stand, or a saddle, this is everything that comes with me on every hunt. Let's get started. So as I've progressed through my hunting career, I guess you could call it, I have started to bring less and less stuff with me to the woods, specifically because there was a bunch of stuff in my pack that we'll get to in a moment here that just wasn't seeing the light of day pretty much ever, maybe once or twice a season, and I decided it wasn't really worth carrying. So what you're gonna see is a pretty scaled back, bare bones, what I carry in the woods with me whenever I go hunting setup today, and it's all going to start with a bino harness. Now this specific bino harness is from Eberly Stock. This is their Recon bino harness, and I've got this one pretty well built out. But the goal for this setup, say I'm hunting from the ground old school style, or hunting from a blind, or I'm hunting from a preset where I don't have to carry in my climbing equipment, this is gonna be my solution for that scenario. As we move through the video, I'll talk about what I carry if I am going up in a saddle or in a climber or something similar. But for right now, let's just talk the basic core kit that never leaves my body. It's obviously a bino harness, so we'll start off with the binoculars. Last year I was running Crossfire 10x50s from Vortex. This year I've bumped up to the Diamondback 10x42s. They're a really lightweight binocular. 10 power is a nice in between. Plenty of magnification for looking out over ag fields or something like that, but also not too much magnification so that they're difficult to use in more heavily wooded areas. To go along with that, we've got a Vortex Diamondback 2000 rangefinder in the side pouch, tethered in obviously, because if I drop that, then I can't really make ethical shots on game. In the side pouches here, I keep a little set of Allen wrenches, specifically like for my bow, making sure I have the right sizes to make repairs or little fixes on my bow if I have to. Hopefully we do not have to. On the other side pouch, I keep a grunt tube. I always hunt with a grunt tube for one specific reason. I don't necessarily blind call or just send out grunt calls into the woods because I don't see a lot of success doing it that way. What I'll usually use a grunt tube for outside of the rut is if I have a buck that I want to make a shot on, but he's outside of bow range, say he's at 70, 80 yards outside of bow range, and he's cruising through my area. What I can do is take out this grunt tube and just give him a very, very small call, just something very faint. I almost want it to be so faint that he's not even sure if he heard it, and oftentimes they will break their current path and circle back to you to check out what that noise was without it being super intrusive or aggressive. In the back center here, you might be able to see where I keep my fixed blade knife. This is a Benchmade Saddle Mountain Skinner, I believe, and it's the knife that I carry with me on every hunt. It's great for skinning, butchering, cleaning, gutting in the field, and it's also just kind of sweet. I bought that as a little gift to myself. They make really, really nice knives. In this front zippered pouch, I keep my release as well as camera batteries, filming stuff. This is a Spot Hog whippersnapper. I've been hunting with this release for a few years now, and it hasn't done me wrong. I'm more of a handheld guy now than I've ever been, but I did start off shooting indexes, and I liked them just fine. I will shoot that with a lanyard. I do not carry this loose. It has a little lanyard hole in it to run a wrist strap, so I always run a wrist strap when I'm shooting a handheld release, because if I drop it out of the tree, my hunt's kind of over. In this smaller pouch on the left here, this is Eberly Stock's utility pouch. I'm carrying a little bundle of paracord in there. On public land here in Ohio, we're not allowed to cut limbs out of our way, so if I do have a branch blocking like a perfect otherwise shooting lane, I can tie it back with a piece of paracord and then take the paracord out with me when I leave. So that's what that stays there for. Also, paracord's always good to have on you. Now the back panel on the Eberly Stock bino harnesses is MOLLE compatible, as you can kind of see here. And this year I have added the Eberly Stock sustainment pouch. What this essentially allows me to do is run hydration in the back, typically a 2-liter hydration bladder. That's what this hose coming out the front here is. But if I want to carry bottled water instead, I could carry maybe a rain layer in here, or a puffy jacket, or something small to just fill up this space if I need that extra carrying capacity. This little Velcro strip on the back here allows you to just add other accessories. Come on, dog. So for this example, I've just got this little like hard MOLLE panel, and what you can do with this is add a Kydex holster for a handgun. So if I happen to be hunting with a handgun, or if for whatever reason I feel like I need to be carrying a handgun on a hunt, you can run a holster right in front here, and that is super useful, and I've put it to use in the past. Eberlestock also makes this Velcro compatible hand warmer tube with a little bit of storage up front. I'll add this obviously if the weather is cold enough to warrant me having a hand warmer tube, but this also will just Velcro directly onto the body of the bino harness. And now with this completely built out, you've got a lot of capability riding around on just your chest before you even throw a backpack on. Also, this flexes really well over into rifle hunting because I'm typically still going to want a rangefinder if the potential for longer range shots is there. I still want binos, but I can carry, spare ammo or a spare magazine up in this front pouch as well. And I can kind of modify this to exactly match whatever it is I'm doing. Usually it's archery hunting here in Ohio, but I do step out into Pennsylvania and West Virginia for archery and rifle at this time. So I can build this out to whatever I need it to do. And shout out to Eberlestock. I love this Recon bino harness. I've got a full review of it on the channel already. If you'd like to watch it, it's up in the cards and down in the description. So that's the core kit. We can add on to this depending on what we're doing, but if I just want to take the bow out to a preset stand, a preset ground blind, whatever it happens to be, or just go hunt off the ground somewhere I've never been before, that is riding on my chest, and it gives me a ton of capability. Now, if I want to hunt out of a saddle, maybe I'm setting up my saddle set up in the tree the day that I'm walking in, we need to add a little bit more gear. So that's where this next piece comes into play. Okay, so like I said, if I need more capability in the field, I'll typically carry a backpack, and if I'm carrying a backpack, it's probably the Eberlestock Bandit. I'm not sponsored by Eberlestock, I promise. I just really like their products. So yeah, let's say for example, I'm going deeper into public. I need a little bit more gear to sustain whatever type of hunting I'm doing, whether it's from a saddle or a tree stand or something like that out of a preset. This is what comes with me because it basically covers all the bases that I can't quite cover out of that bino harness. So this is gonna simulate sort of like a long walk back onto public to set up a saddle, and that's what the pack is built out for right now. So let's just start taking it apart and talking about every item in here. Okay, so number one thing that I love about this pack is this sort of like catch-all flap here on the front that just buckles like so, because you can pack very strange shaped items like a saddle hunting platform. This one specifically is the XOP Invader. I like this platform quite a lot, especially for the money. It's rather affordable. I'll leave all these items linked down in the description if you're interested in them. But this one in particular is not a ton of money and made out of, standard aluminum materials. No carbon fiber or anything crazy here, but it has a ridiculously strong bite on the tree, and it's very, very stable underneath your feet. It's also not gigantic. I don't have huge feet, so I don't need a gigantic platform, and this one fits the bill for that. I'm also a big fan of the texture that they put on the body of this platform as well. It's got a ton of friction to it, so it feels like my boots aren't going to slip off of it while I'm up there in the tree. Also, it makes it very easy to add side pressure to it. Say if I'm pivoting way off the side in order to shoot around the tree in some funky manner, which is basically why I saddle hunt, is for that 360 shooting angle. I don't feel like my boot's going to slip off and pose any type of issue. Any weight issues that I inherit from using this platform are basically negated by the fact that I do not carry sticks, which you might have noticed in the pack earlier, where we'll talk about my climbing method very soon. So yeah, if the weight of this is an issue for you, there are lighter ones on the market, carbon models, stuff like that. But as a wise man once said, if weight is an issue, just get stronger. All right, since we've been talking about saddle hunting, let's jump straight ahead to the saddle. The saddle that I use is admittedly outdated, and that is okay. I might be upgrading in the future, but so far there has been absolutely nothing wrong with my tethered Menace saddle. I believe this was the saddle before the Phantom, and truth be told, I really do like this thing. It's extremely simple, single panel design. It's not even mesh, it's just solid Cordura panel on the back, and it's worked great for me. I would recommend trying saddles before you buy them, just to make sure that they are comfy for you if that is something you're able to do at your local shop. This doesn't even have an adjustable bridge. The bridge is permanently always the same length, which is okay. That might be something that I switch out in the future. You can essentially snip this off and get an adjustable one put on. You'll also notice that this thing is pretty bare bones right now. I usually run pouches on the back MOLLE, but for the sake of showing it to you on video, I've taken it off and I'll be able to like show it separately by hand. And then attached to the saddle at all times is my lineman's belt. So this is the pouch that I was talking about. This is another tethered item. I think this is called the Sis Hauler or the Sis Hauler 2.0. And it's this nice little drawstring bag that you can run on the back of your saddle. Actually, sometimes I'll run two, one on the left, one on the right. But for right now, I've got it all packed into one. Now, the key to my climbing method is this little guy right here. And it might not look like much, but what this is a foot stirrup. So I climb using the 2TC method or the 2-tether climbing method. I'll give you a quick rundown on what that is. Essentially, I'll take the tether that is attached to my saddle and I will clip into it and set it up as high as I can reach, okay? Then I will take another tether and clip it just below that and clip that into this foot stirrup. And then I'll put my foot in the stirrup and tighten it so that my knee is kind of up at this 90-degree angle. Okay, so now I'm attached to the tree with the foot stirrup and my tether above it. When I stand in this foot stirrup, it will gain me height, and then I can reach that top tether and bump it higher. And then when I sit into my saddle, I'm seated at a higher height than I was from the ground. And then I just repeat that process over and over. I bump up my foot stirrup tether, stand in the stirrup, gain that height back again, bump the tether again. And I just rinse and repeat that until I reach the height that I want to hunt at. Once I'm at hunting height, a few more things have to be done. This is my gear hanger. I forget who makes this, I feel bad, but I will leave it linked down in the description. I do want to shout out whoever makes these because they are great little products. It's essentially just an Amsteel daisy chain that have these loops in it, and then on each one of these loops you can clip like an S-beaner or something to it once it's on the tree and hang your pack, hang your bow. Speaking of bow hangers, my actual bow hanger is this Genesis 3D printing bow hanger right here. So this actually interfaces really well with this daisy chain to hang on the tree like so, and it's super solid. It's got really good structure to it, and I trust it to hold my bow for me when I'm 20-25 feet up in the air. Once I get up in the tree, it's about time to fish up my bow, and I say fish up my bow because I use a hook style gear hoist. The carabiner style hoists are just fine, but if you happen to forget anything on the ground, which I have done in the past, you're kind of out of luck and you have to climb back down and get it. With this, I can sort of lower it down slowly and try to get this hook to grab onto something and fish up whatever I've forgotten, or if I drop something from out of the tree, I can save my hunt with something like this. So that is the gear hoist that I use. Again, I'll leave it linked down below. It's this nice rubberized hook style of gear hoist, and I don't use any of the retractable ones. I just bundle this up so that it doesn't get tangled. A couple of S-beaners. These allow me to hang my pack from that gear hanger that we talked about earlier. Just clip this side onto the tree, clip the top of my pack into here, and we're good to go. I can access all my items right in front of me or off to the side of the tree without too much issue. And finally, running a single panel saddle means that running a back band is extremely useful. I have personally sat in that saddle right there for 9 to 10 hours at a time. I actually have that whole hunt documented in West Virginia where we did have some success. So if you would like to watch that video, it's linked in the description and up in the cards. But what this basically allows you to do is throw this on kind of your lower lumbar mid-back area, like so, and take some of the tension off of your hips from hanging in your saddle. A nice little back band like so, you just lean back into it, and it holds your body weight for you, is vital if you're going to be up in a saddle for a long time and you do not have a double panel saddle like me. Starting to run out of space in the pack here. Drag rope. Sometimes I shoot does, and does don't have built-in handles on their heads, and they're very hard to get out without a rope or carrying them on their shoulders or quartering them up, which isn't really something we do here in Ohio. So a drag rope is super useful for that. This one is like a designated drag rope, but you can use whatever rope you might have laying around. And finally, a sit pad. Now these are very multi-use. You can use it literally to sit on your tailgate with, like so, and it just brings you a bunch of extra comfort and whatever, and makes it easier to sit in glass if that's something that you're doing. But also, I will typically take my knife and cut a little slit here and a little slit here and run a trail camera strap through this. What that allows me to do is then put this against the tree at knee height while I'm up in a saddle and lean down and put my knees against the tree. Up here in the lid of the Bandit, I will typically keep a headlamp, some camera batteries, support equipment for making videos, which really just makes you have to carry a bunch of extra weight and think about a lot of stuff besides killing deer. But the lid is nice for that as well. They've also got MOLLE compatibility on top and whoop, on the bottom, which is awesome, as well as on the front of this flap here, but I typically leave that slick. So that just about covers everything I carry for a standard deer hunt, other than the weapon of choice, which is typically going to be the bow. This is my Hoyt Alpha AX2, new for the year of 2025. I have a review on the channel already, if you'd like to watch that. But you know, the bow and the arrows, or the rifle and the ammo, whatever I happen to be hunting with, that comes along too, and that's basically everything that I would carry. If you think I forgot anything, let that be known down in the comments section as well, and I'll try to get back to pretty much everybody. Good luck this season. We are very, very close to opening day of deer season here in Ohio. Thank you so much, as always, for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.